Hey everybody, Ken Ward from Hertz Audio. And in today's workshop, we're going to go into the Hertz S8 DSP smartphone app, show you how it works. So to use the S8 app here, first thing you're going to want to do is click on Configurator. And we'll select offline because we aren't connected to a vehicle right now. Let's create a new setup at the top and click on Next. And so now we see the home screen. If we select settings at the bottom, let's go to our I/O configuration wizard. We'll click on start and let's select a car. Let's say in this case, we're going to design a system for a car and select next. And it shows you every single possible speaker that you could use in a system in the S8. And if you have any you don't need, then deselect them now. Like maybe you don't have rear three-ways, so you could deselect the mid-ranges or deselect the tweeters. And maybe you only have a single subwoofer. And once you've got just the speakers that you need selected, click Next. Now it shows you a map of the system, and you'll notice the car is red. And what that indicates is we are asking for more channels. If this is a fully active system, we're asking for more channels than the S8 can handle because the S8 has a maximum of 8 channels. But you've probably selected a three-way kit that comes with passive crossovers. So go ahead and select a three-way passive crossover at the top of the page. And once you do that, you'll see that the car is no longer red, it's green or it's white. That indicates you've selected a supported configuration and we can click next. Now you see how many channels the system needs to manage, and it's assigned numbers to each of those channels, but it did that somewhat arbitrarily, and you may have connected it differently. So this is your chance to click on the drop-down menu if you need to and change the output channel numbers to make everything work. And as you saw there, if you have a duplication of any channels, you will get the red car again, indicating you can't move forward in the process until you address that conflict. Now you can see we're ready to go to the next step. Do you want this to come in on the RCA inputs the way it would from an aftermarket head unit or from a preamp, or do you want it to work with high level speaker level inputs? Let's select speaker level in this instance, and that's going to assign a higher input voltage to start. Here you see the mixer, and across the top you see all of the inputs that we have for the S8. And along the right side, you see all of the outputs that we have for the S8. And you need to make sure that every output has a signal routed to it from the inputs. And sometimes you will be routing channel 1 in to channel 1 out. But if you have a factory system with limited bandwidths and active crossovers, you may be routing channel 1 in and channel 3 in both to channel 1 out to get a full range system. So you'll configure the mixer as needed here. And if it comes defaulted to stereo, if you change channel 1, channel 2 will track along. If you change channel 3, channel 4 will track along. But if you click on the stereo drop down in the lower right there, it'll let you select custom, and that lets you split apart the left and right stereo pairs if need be. Now let's select next. This is the step where we will, and it's optional. This is an optional step where you can set the input sensitivity using our sine sweep test track. And if you select next here, you can see that we have a level control and we have 6 virtual LEDs across the top. Now, those virtual LEDs are not going to light up during this demonstration, but if we had signal coming in, they would light green. And if we had too much signal coming in and we had our input sensitivity set too high, they would light red. So what we want to do is keep those LEDs from illuminating red at any point in the sine sweep, but we want to go as high in the level as we can without that happening. And this is an optional step that is really handy for equalized OEM systems. Now let's go to next. This is another optional step that's really handy for use with OEM systems where you can counteract the factory equalization using our input EQ. This is a function that many DSPs do not have. So if you select next, you can see a basic control for an EQ, and it's a multi-band EQ, and you can use the gain control to move up or down. And then you could also, if you were really sophisticated, you can change the center frequency and the bandwidth using that same control. In the upper right, you can see that EQ 1 and 2 are linked together by default, but if you have a car where left and right are equalized differently, you can unclick those if need be. And that's it. Now you have, using your phone, you've just gone through and set up the inputs and outputs to get the best sound for your S8 managed DSP system. Well, there you have it. You can see how easy it is with the Hertz S8 phone app to set up an S8 DSP for use in any vehicle. For more information, go to hertz-audio.com and check it out.